So if you're in this room now, it means that you're interested in how are you throwing out the grade.
Do it. Sorry. Thank you. Don't be. Hey, you have a lot to say about throwing out the grades.
I do.
You just did it.
I did it.
And it was exhausting?
It was very exhausting creating something new, but it was successful. So the students really liked it.
Did you have much resistance from parents?
I had some questions from parents, wondering about how it was going to work, especially since I teach physics. So a lot of these kids are going to university, and they were concerned that the students were still going to get the same learning. But for the most part, it was actually pretty supportive. A lot of the parents came along and thanked me for doing something different and being innovative and changed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
And then, like, what would you do? You have like any advice for people that are like, because you sort of changed your grading system, but you're moving away to a more competency model away from a grading model.
What I would say is we as educators are supposed to be modeling to our students. And one of the things that I believe personally is that learning happens from failure, that we fail, that we try, and that things become difficult, and you learn from your mistakes. And so that only happens if you're willing to try something new, and if you're willing to be different and change what you're doing. So I would say, model that behavior, try something new, do something different. If you make a mistake, learn from it. And that's what I did. And it's still going on. So
awesome.
An A at the school I teach at is not an A at Crofton House. So we talk as though grades are like, yeah, an A is an A is an A. That's nonsense, right? An A in one class is not an A in another class. I mean, that everyone could get an A in all things. And I think that's also not true. If you only work hard enough, you could, because some of it's that too. Your child's not yet being able to get to work harder. You got to get on that. As though development works like that.
A B for me is 110% of my effort.
Right.
But it's not an A. It's not what people are looking for. And you can't communicate that kind of effort through a letter grade.
There's an overwhelming feeling too that the grade makes you more capable, right?
Absolutely.
It's photo evidence and written commentary, and they're actually making these report cards that actually follow the students throughout the years. You get this document that the kids and the parents have access to, that the school systems have access to, and then instead of applying with your transcripts to a university, you could apply with the evidence of your learning.
I don't know, like there's this huge pressure on us to have these good grades because this is our future and this is what we do need the good grades to get to compete against the other kids with the good grades to get into the schools that we want to. I don't actually need to learn, I just need the good grade.
Yes. That's how we signal what we value, right?
In our school, we were doing looking at more core competencies at a growth continuum, and
in a grade 5 class, they did the writing journey. So they're posting different writing samples with the rubric.
And a big part is communication, right? We're communicating with the student, the value of their assessment, and how much do you really communicate with the letter grade or with the percentage? You're 93, you're 75. What does that say with it? So we're moving away from grades and moving into some other form, whether it's a portfolio or whether a competency-based model or something. You just communicate so much more to the student and to the parent. So why wouldn't you want to get rid of letter grades and percentages?
But I think you're right, the parents, especially with the new curriculum, need to be part of this because it's going to be a total shift.
to have to think of non-judgmental descriptive feedback. They were exhausted, so it made me think, oh, this is one of the reasons why teachers don't do it.
Maintaining the energy to push this forward is going to be tough. But if we can draw that energy from each other, and if we give our chances for students to give us that energy, then it can happen. And I think that becomes a very powerful exercise, which may in fact shift people who really struggle with this. And there's a ton of energy to be gained from opening up to kids and really participating in the learning process.
I'm shocked by the growth. Like, there are kids that are now willing to take risks?
We might actually get to know our students